Thank you, Daniel. And greetings, everyone. Maloilele from the Kingdom of Tonga. I hope you're all well in your respective corners of Oceania. And I would just like to extend my my gratitude and my thanks to the management of IAYSP and the opportunity to share the work that we do here in Tonga to address climate change impacts. I'll just begin quickly by just talking about the problem or some of the climate change problems that we are experiencing here in Tonga. I think we are all connected in the sense that we are all facing similar challenges in responding to the impacts of climate change. Here in Tonga, we see coastal erosion on many of our beachfronts. We also suffer the consequences of cyclone destruction. Recently, we had Cyclone Harold this year, which has set us back in many of the climate change efforts in trying to combat the problems of climate change and the threats, particularly in food security, with crop devastation in agriculture. And there are so many other climate change related problems and topics that I could talk about and probably take up the whole 2-hour session. But today I would just like to share the work that we do on SDG 14 on life underwater, which is contributes to SDG 13 and also linked to the work that we do on land on SDG 15, climate action on SDG 13. We cannot think of these separately as everything is interconnected. So anyway, so today I just wanted to share the work we've been doing the past month here at the Department of Environment in Tonga. Our ocean temperatures have been affected by climate change, and some of our marine species, such as coral reefs, are very sensitive to these changes in temperatures, which affects their survival. So coral reefs are important as they are like, say, the lungs of the ocean. They breathe life they support life in marine organisms, and without them, fish stocks and marine life as we know it would cease to exist. So, and a lot of our sectors are dependent on marine health. As such, over the past month, we've been conducting some reef and fish health surveys in our marine protected areas. And in fact, this week was the last leg of this marine survey that we conducted. So we've completed the last 5 of our marine protected sites. Sorry, I think the fireworks might be, I apologize if my, if that's causing some problems with hearing.
I was wondering what that was.
Not good.
Celebrating Tonga.
People are doing fireworks. Anyway, so just moving on. So what we did the past 4 days, this week, we went out to 5 of our marine protected area sites. And what we did was coral reef surveys. We used transect lines. We did 2 transect surveys in each of the 5 sites that we visited. And we looked at fish health, fish numbers, invertebrates, coral reef health in general, and fish abundance. Oh gosh, sorry. And the results of these surveys are important. We do this yearly. We began this in 2014. And this is the annual survey that we conduct. And the results of this survey helps us to determine the status of these important ecosystems. And so it can help us to determine the protective measures that we can put in place to help these vital ecosystems recover. The work on this is important as it supports our government's pledge to nature-based solutions and blue economy under the IUCN. And it helps us to inform policies and strengthen the grounding and reasoning as to why we need to increase and strengthen our national partnership with all our stakeholders within government, the private sector, business sector, and most importantly with the communities that rely on fisheries for their livelihood. So that was what we did this week, but our work is not limited to marine health surveys. It also extends to monitoring other marine mammals, such as our humpback whales. Some of the youth, I have Sina who's joined, sorry, is also joining me, and she was also part of the monitoring team this week, and some of our other youth who are in the other room, but they'll probably join us later. So we've done some work on whale survey as well. With COVID, we found that there was an abundance of whales and they were being more friendly. They were coming closer to shore. So that was one of the positive signs of COVID that from a conservation point of view. We do a lot of work as well on mangrove planting in nurseries to support the fish nursery grounds. And I think that's it. And a lot of work as well on terrestrial programs, but we'll just touch on the marine that we've been doing, marine work. We do have a lot of challenges. Sorry, if I'm out of time, just indicate or wave. I'll just touch a bit on some of the challenges that we experience in our work, which are to do with coordination and partnership with all our stakeholders. I think communication and awareness is key. We can be sitting in the environment department office and know all this information what we need to do, but if we're not sharing it with our communities, then it becomes irrelevant. You know, it cannot really move or progress anything that we're trying to do for achieving SDGs, our national targets. That was the first one on our challenges. The second one is on enforcement. We have so many plans and policies and legislation, but we often find it difficult to enforce these. And again, it undermines all of our plans to progress things towards achieving our SDGs. And finally, we have challenges in monitoring and evaluating progress of our work. So we have a lot of support from the international community, from other governments. We have a lot of support from JICA on the mangroves, and also from Italian government on our marine protected areas, and so many other international agencies that help us implement our environmental programs. And just on the final note, my talk, just a quick way forward. Of course, resources is a limiting factor to our work, but I think we can still move things forward if we find common ground and work through the challenges together, especially during this COVID season and a lot of uncertainty surrounding our plans and for environmental protection, and enhancing strengthening our resilience to climate change. So I think as the way forward, it's important that we establish a good network and partnership with all of our communities, especially the communities, working with them at the grassroots level, as well as with our other partners on NGOs and our private sector, the business sector. We need to, like what the SDG, the theme is leaving no one behind. So more than ever, it's really important that we try our best to communicate, strengthen our networks, try to get along with everyone, and find that common ground that we can relate to each other and get partnership and for everyone to get on board. in strengthening our resilience to climate change impacts. And with that, thank you. Hello.